Hello everybody, this is Barb with barbstamps.com, and today I want to show you how to make these cool spinner shaker cards. So this card is from the Paper Pumpkin kit last month in October, and I used the leaves that you punch out of the kit, the little cool sequins that came in it, and I have had some questions as to how I made this card, and it's very simple, and I want to show you how to do it today. So we're going to actually make this card. So this is a card that uses the Flurry of Wishes stamp set and the sequins. And, well, I guess let's just get started and I'll show you how to do it. You need a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock for the card base. We'll set that aside. You also need a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Soft Sky cardstock. And I already went ahead and stamped the Snowflake Duo on this in the Soft Sky ink. So that's done. So we're going to die cut this piece, and we're going to use the sliding star framelits for this, and we're going to use this circular piece right here. We're also going to use the layering circles framelits, and we're going to use what I'm calling circle number 2. I marked all my circles with a Sharpie, starting from the smallest to the largest, and this is number 2. Let's get the big shot in here. So we're going to lay our cardstock on that piece of paper, or cardstock on the machine, and then we're going to have it be about equal from all edges, except not the bottom. So the 2 sides and the top, so we have about equal distance there. And then we're going to drop this little guy in the middle and try to line that up as best we can so that it's in the center of that circle. Put my lid on. And then we're going to run it through the machine. So this is what we're left with. We've got these pieces. So this piece is actually going to be discarded because that's where our spinner actually needs to spin. And then we've got this one, and this little guy is also going to be discarded. So these 2 we don't need. So we also need a window sheet, and I took some of our window sheets here and I cut a circle with the number 4 circle out of that framelit set. So we're going to stick this on the back side of this circle here, and I'm just going to use some snail adhesive. I'm just going to add a little bit of snail just right in the center here of this circle. I don't really want to get a bunch of adhesive on the outer edge of this circle, on this outer edge, because if I do that, then my spinner is not going to spin. It's going to get stuck on the adhesive. So I just want to get that down. Next thing we need to do is take some of our foam adhesive strips, and this is how we make the shaker part. Let's pull a strip out of here. Just going to pull that off. I'm just going to start going around the circle, and I'm kind of doing it right at the edge of the window sheet so that I don't get in the way of the pennies. Bring that up a little closer so you can sort of see what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to go all the way around with this. Cut that off. Okay. So, got that done. Now the back side of this piece also needs some of this foam adhesive strips because you want it to be the same height as the shaker portion. So I'm going to cut some of these off, and I'm just going to add some pieces. Again, you want to make sure that you don't get it where your penny's going to be spinning, and I'll show you where the penny's going to be spinning here in a second, because then the penny won't spin. And then, so I'm just going to add these pieces kind of away from the circle where I need the penny to be spinning there. Okay, so we'll bring in our piece of thick Whisper White. I've already scored this. This is a 4 1/2 or 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I've already scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, so that's going to be our main card base. Then this is going to set on top like that. Our little shaker bit is going to go in here like so, and then we're going to make our snowflake. So I'm going to peel the little backing pieces off of this. See if we can center this. I think about like that. Looks pretty okay. Got this piece done. Now we need to make our snowflake and our greeting. So we're going to use some sweet sugar plum ink and the snowflakes here. So I'm just going to ink this up and stamp that on this scrap piece of Whisper White. And I also have the greeting from that stamp set. This just says Merry Christmas. Very simple. Get this right on the edge of this little strip here. This little strip measures, I don't like that too much. The strip measures 3/4 by 3. That's better. Okay, put the ink away. We're done with that. Let's bring in our Snow Flurry punch. It's got the 2 snowflakes that match this stamp here, but I only need 1. So I'm just going to line this up, punch that out, and then my Merry Christmas punch, and I'm just going to slide that in there. What we do is just line it up so that it's even on both sides of this point here. I just want it to be even on both sides. And then I'll just snip that off and have a nice little banner end. So, and then to do this part for the dimensionals, and you need to kind of round them. So I'm just going to move them to a piece of this backing paper that I haven't, I've already used. And I'm going to cut off all these little points because I don't want this to look like a stop sign anymore. I want it to look like a circle. So I'm just barely trimming off those little points. It's just a tiny little snip to get that little point off of there. It just makes all the difference in the world. Okay. So now I'm going to sandwich my dimensional between 2 pennies. You can use washers for this too, but I don't have any washers. I have pennies. And then the other one, we're going to put on top of the penny, and then we're going to put that on top of our snowflake. Okay, so that's pretty much done. So now for this, you're going to kind of have to eyeball this a little bit, or you could use this piece that you're going to discard. You can kind of lay that in there, and then you can stick that in, so then you'll know where, you know, the middle is. So you can leave that in there if you wish. Take some of our Fancy Frost sequins. These are Soft Sky and Sweet Sugar Plum. I'm just going to try to make a little pile here right in the middle. Right in the middle. So that when I remove the backing sheet on this, I can just go right over the top of those, and then they'll be in the middle of my window. Okay. Oops, you little bugger. Get that back in there. So I'm just going to go down and press that into place. And then this little piece, all I'm going to do is put my scissors underneath here, snip that, and then I can just pull it right out. So we have that. And now to get this in there, it's just a matter of lifting this up just barely so you can get the penny, the 2 pennies in there. And then this side piece here, you just want to kind of pull it up and out a little bit, just enough to get it in between those 2 pennies. And then there you go. And then get a little twisty there, and then it should start to spin. There we go. Okay. I do want to add a sequin to the middle of my snowflake. So I'm going to use my liquid glue. little blob there, and I'm going to add a couple of sequins up here and 3 down here. So I've got this little sequin helper stick. It's just a little dowel, a bamboo skewer with a little bit of that kind of poster putty on the end of it. And then that helps me pick up these little guys because they can be kind of a bugger sometimes. Okay, that one I kind of want to make sure it's in the middle. Now it wants to stick to my finger. We're going to let it sit there so it can get a little sticky. Oh, I forgot. One more up there at the top. Dry. I'll just kind of press them down a little bit to make sure they're starred. So fun. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I've got some more tips and tricks for things on my blog at barbswithbarb.com. And oh, one more thing I did want to show you. Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper underneath my shaker bits. This one I just made with you guys. I did not. And it looks really cool and it's very sparkly, but it kind of, so this part is higher than this part. So it's a little bit, it doesn't spin. About that, go ahead and throw some glimmer paper in there because it is fabulous. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate it very much. And like the video if you learned something new, and have a great day.